Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of my new podcast. Today is with me Mayank, co-founder of Celestial, a company that wants to bring satellites to the moon, if I put this correctly together. Welcome, Mayank. Maybe tell a little bit about yourself and Celestial.
Yes, thank you, Matthias, and thank you for inviting. Thank you for thinking me eligible for such podcast. Uh, but yeah, so I'm a space engineer with my background. Masters I did in space engineering from Technical University Berlin. We started with the ideas already when I was doing masters. So I like to call myself building the company from classroom as a theory. I think this is something that I like to leave a message in the society from my side, that companies can come out of classrooms. So yeah, that's briefly about me. I think we'll cover more in the next
Sure.
hour.
Yeah, I also think so. Yeah, tell a little bit about what Celestial is doing, because I think it's quite interesting, and I think this will be also a big topic in that podcast, especially like how you're organizing your business and your strategy for that. So maybe tell a little bit in general your elevator pitch.
Yeah. So Celestial basically is a very small, high upstream startup right now. We are focusing on developing systems and subsystems for satellites at this time, and we have expertise on small satellite antenna designs and antennas manufacturing. We do not manufacture, we design it. And our products basically are offering 3 times the performance of other products. So we design very high performance and lightweight, low cost products. In moving in the future, we are trying to merge and design highly integrated antennas, which will have multiple systems on board of them, and the same antenna to save space on small satellites. And of course, in long term, very long term vision, we have an aim to put satellites on moon and develop this communication infrastructure, something that you see like Starlink. We want to do it with very less satellites on moon and offer a communication infrastructure for the upcoming lunar economy, because this is a basic structure that we would need to build the actual scientific and commercial infrastructure on the moon. So we want to develop that basic infrastructure.
Okay, but that means basically, first of all, you have like a very, very far out time scope, I guess. What is approximately like a realistic time scope for that, like the next 10 years or something like that?
Yeah, so at this time, what we have in market is our patch antennas.
Mhm.
We already have products in the market, and we are, talking with our potential customers. We have antenna on one of the satellites. We will be launching it. So this would be our first mission, already going in space, and so we are doing stuff right now. But moving ahead now, so every technology that we are developing is with the viewpoint that this technology should be or could be used on a moon mission, communicating back to Earth. And so our antennas are high performance, or our antennas are highly integrated, saving space, generating power, and doing much more than what you will find typical antennas doing. And now with our new tech that we are developing is in R&D already. We want to design this highly integrated antennas, and we want to get to a point where these kind of systems and subsystems of satellite will enable high power systems for smaller size, but also give very good links or very high strength signals that can be reached from Earth to moon and vice versa. So we are trying to demonstrate technologies that would work on ideal moon mission. And now moving ahead, we would also like to develop our satellites, offer service. For example, you know what we can also do, or I would like to pitch to my team and to community, offering services for deep space tech demonstrations. We have in-orbit demonstrations where
Mhm.
we get satellites and people offer us a service to test our technologies in a low Earth orbit, right? Why not develop a satellite for lunar economy and do deep tech technology demonstrations? This is where our satellites could work out right now. And then slowly, when we demonstrate such services, then we scale up, raise more funds, and deploy a constellation offering service on the moon for communication. Then moving to Mars, and slowly and steadily, by the time I will not be on the Earth anymore, you will see Celestial might be one day have built a corridor in the solar system where one planet communicates to another. So we can create a corridor
Yeah.
inside the solar system in very, very long way,
But
looking that way.
but that's already like this was one actually of my questions. I think you answered it somewhat, but maybe to go a little bit more into detail. So basically, you have like a long-term vision, like a big long-term vision over the next, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years even. But what would you actually do, or how you described it, is basically you cut it in smaller pieces and try to deliver value already now, but having in mind that everything you do is step by step, basically trying to reach that goal. Do I see this correctly? Is that
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think maybe I start to answer this question one step from my side.
Yep.
We built this company from classroom. We were students, me and Johannes. Randomly, two strangers met just sitting next bench, and we decided to work together because the idea was nice. As a space engineer, what I was telling, and as a non-space engineer for Johannes made sense somehow. And we started working on this. And now what I want to say is a company built from classroom with a vision to go to moon is not a simple case, is not a very day-to-day news you will get.
Yeah.
And why we were able to do this, and we were able to raise initial fundings for ourselves and scholarships, was because the vision was grand, it was big, ambitious. We were thinking very long term, but then also we segregated our problems into very doable steps where you can see already results in few, not years, but in months, what we were trying to develop. And now, after 3 years, we have products in market, which are not for ready, already there on moon, but they are already built in a way that we can justify their functioning for the moon. And this is the reason why we were able to scale down a very grand vision for which even space agencies are working, to a startup which was pitching an idea and doing, going to meetups and talking to pitching coaches, not even investors, talking to accelerator, mentors that we want to do this. So yeah, that is exactly right. We built our company based on these smaller tiles to build this into a bigger and a much bigger vision that we have.
So, but that means also what you also just said is that it basically takes both, right? Like the maybe crazy sounding, far away, long-term vision that you have that is like far away. But on the other hand, also to have a plan, like step by step, to go there and have some kind of smaller stepping stones to get there, right? This is.
I mean, just for people, if somebody is listening and he is thinking about being a space engineer, or how space is very interesting, and why space, I just want to tell, space is a field, according to me, which is very, very different from other fields at this time. Not because it is becoming privatized, or I won't give you a very commercial answer. I just want to give you a very philosophical answer that I believe, and you would agree with it. For space, you have to start with imagination. You have to imagine things first, what you want to do, where you want to do, and what could it be, Say it starts with a painting, it starts with a poetry in your mind that you want to reach to moon to do something. And then the poet or your artist is replaced by this engineer who works day and night and to get to this grand vision that you imagine in your brain to make it a reality. So this is why space gives you an edge, where it starts from this colorful side of your mind and gets to this black and white side of your mind, which is technical. And this is what we also are trying to do in our vision, that everything that we have seen is a very beautiful, very nice story that we want to go to moon and do this and that, But then when engineer comes into picture, then we have to realize how we are going to survive, how we are going to get revenue now, who would give us money to get there, because nothing, stories do not, I mean, stories sell, but stories do not sell to build companies, People also need to see some results, something happening with the companies. So yeah, that is there.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. But how do you deal with a situation? I mean, I guess you talk with different kind of people, right? Like, I mean, I'm myself, I'm German, So I know that the German society is usually more conservative when it comes to big dreams. But I guess you talk also internationally, where maybe big dreams are more common or more seen as something positive. How do you balance these messages? Because I imagine for some people who see is like super practical, they will say like, yeah, to the moon. I mean, like we want to have this antenna. We don't care about the big story. And there's, I guess, other people who say like, oh, the things over the next 3 months are not so interesting for me, but I care about the moon story. So you tell both, or how do you go about this practically?
Yeah, this question has troubled us a lot actually, and as a result, right now what we do is we have at one time we had two different pitch decks: short story pitch deck, long story pitch deck. Whoever wants what, we send it, and slowly and steadily we have started gaining confidence in our things that we have right now with us, and we focus on our near-term goals, because more or less when we are talking to investors, when we are talking to people right now, or our customers, they want to know what you have or what you are selling, where is the break even, where is profitability of the company, and all of those technical terms.
Yeah.
Right. But when we are talking to our, for example, long-term partners that we want to establish collaborations, for example, we are talking to ESA, or we are talking to any other joint partnership, which we see should be long-term. Then we go to this long-term goal and we tell them, or even if it is some investor who wants to invest with us, we would go for long-term goal, because we do not want them to be there for short-term with us. We want them to help us realize our bigger goal. So they need to know where this is going, why we are developing this technology now. It's not for just for profitabilities of the company and all, but there is also bigger planning behind this, that we are going there. So of course, this is, I think, little bit of spontaneous decision that the founders take, I believe. But what we did is we went through all the people that we can talk to. We kept in contact with them, accelerator mentors, ESA experts, and all of those. And based on that, we came up with at one time 2 different pitch decks. Now we have one, because it is just focused on near-term goals. We do not tell long-term goals generally to anybody, because now at this time the company is not what it was. It is not just idea; it has products. So we have a lot more to talk about now. So we do not go with it. But earlier we also had 2 pitch decks for that.
Okay, that's very interesting. So basically, what you said, the short-term goals might be the driver for the business, basically, and that's why you focus on that, but you still keep the long-term goal alive and in your minds and as strategy, as long-term strategy. That's actually quite interesting.
As I said, the companies do not run by selling stories. So, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. In the end, you also need a product that works, and that's what most people care about. Yeah, that's very true. You also talked a bit about already in the beginning that you started the company from the classroom, basically. In my last podcast, episode 3, I had already a little bit discussions about deep tech commercializations and the issues connected with that. How I get from your story, it's a little bit different, because there our conclusion was that it's sometimes hard, because usually in deep tech you have a solution. But you have not yet found a problem to apply that solution on. Was it for you similar, or you have a completely different experience with that?
No, I think maybe I have a third side to it. So when we started with our company, we had this big vision to go to moon, but we had no technology in our hand. And we are not a spin out of any research department where it was worked for 10 years and we have a technology now and we are commercializing it, So that also did not happen. So on that note, when we started from our classroom and we started looking out for technologies and other things, the first question was, what are you doing? And the question was, nothing. We are just sending satellites, and this was a very, very weird thing to have in a company. And this is why what we did and why I think Celestial has gained the strength it has is that technology that we have, everything was developed by founders itself, and everything from scratch, from the idea. And we also, I believe, were lucky with things, but no technology spin-ins, no spin-outs, no licensing, everything developed from scratch. And this is why I believe for deep tech companies, I think it is difficult to survive, especially hardware. But I also think there is a very reasonable chance that if you stay true to your technology, because that is the soul of this, everything can be built around this. First thing is technology has to be there, and then business comes around this. So if you can stay true to your technology, and if you have a vision about this and you work around this, maybe it will take a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but you will at least come to a stage where you will have some prototypes that you can demonstrate these principles, if not the product, and then you can scale this up and get more fundings, get confidence of the society, investors, and you can, be a company that you want to be. If you will go back and you will look, in 2019, we had this InnoSpace Masters Award, and there are some videos of Celestial, and I was on the award ceremony. You will see there is a very small prototype of communication systems that I showcased. This is the first prototype we developed, and seriously, that is just 3 chips, 3 ICs integrated together to communicate. It works. It is a prototype, but start as small as you can. So this is how Celestial started, as small as it can. So that's what I would say for us. The story goes in that way.
Okay, that's interesting. So for you, actually, the vision was first, and then you basically try to figure out how you get there.
We were just reverse entirely.
Wow, that's very. I think it's quite unusual, but I think that gives a lot of opportunities, because you're not constrained by or you were not constrained by the technology, right? You could basically develop it according to your needs, let's say like that.
I understand. I mean, see, at that time, I had no idea about how startup works, right? And as I said, I'm a passionate person. Yeah. I had a vision and we worked for it. Joe liked the vision. But now, after 3 years understanding startups and other things, at least from the experience, I think that was one of the big mistakes we were doing, starting with the vision. Starting with the vision is good. It's really nice, really beautiful, but it has to be a reasonable vision and has to be backed up by technology or something else. Just saying I'm going to moon doesn't work at all. We were very, very lucky. It worked because we could show some technologies which we understood or which others didn't understood at that time. Something happened for us and that. But I think if I were to start something yet again, my approach would be very, very different actually. And the approach that I took now, I think it is a roller coaster ride I took, and somehow I just didn't fell down. But also it's a great story now that we started with the vision and we came to technology. We did not start with technology to go to vision, and that is unique. And I think really, really, it's like having a heart attack and then a major one, and then surviving without going to hospital. That's how I see it.
Okay, I think this is also the perfect ending words to that podcast. It was really nice to talk with you. Amazing story and very, very interesting journey you had so far. And it seems also very interesting journey that you still have ahead of you. So good luck with that.
No, thank you for inviting, and I really enjoyed the talk. I hope it made sense, whatever I said, and looking forward to your following episodes on this. Really nice initiative.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Bye.